Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As of the time I am filming this video, I am officially back in the querying trenches. For those of you who don't know, querying is what you do when you have written a manuscript and you want to get a literary agent. You approach agents with what's called a query letter, which briefly describes your book and how it would fit in the current traditional publishing market. If agents are interested, they ask to read your book. And if they really like your book, they might offer to represent you and help you get published. This is the second book that I have queried. I queried my first manuscript, Project Mayfair, for 9 months, starting in August 2023 until May 2024. And now I am back querying my second manuscript, Project Dagger, as of October 2024. So in this video, I thought that I would share with you 9 things I am doing differently this time, as well as 1 thing that I am keeping the same. Querying literary agents is very exciting. There are literary agents, actual publishing professionals who are considering your material. When they request to read your material, it's so exciting. But it also can be very demoralizing at times because putting yourself out there naturally results in rejection. Sometimes a lot of rejection. Over and over and over. So I hope this video of me sharing my experience and my mindset going into the second round of querying will help you if you're currently in a similar situation or looking to enter the querying trenches in the near future. So let's get started. The number 1 thing that I am doing differently with this second querying experience is I am researching literary agents on Publishers Marketplace. Now, what is Publishers Marketplace, you might ask? This is a website. It is a bit pricey. It's $25 per month, but when you have a membership, you can view all of the latest deals across publishing. You can see what publishers are buying what books and who are the literary agents selling those books. So if there's a literary agent and you are interested in potentially submitting to them, you think they might be a good fit for your book, you can use Publishers Marketplace to look them up and see, okay, how many deals have they made? What publishers have they made these deals with? Have they made deals for other authors in my genre? The reason why I think it is a good idea to invest in a Publishers Marketplace subscription, even if it's just for 1 month, like I did, is because it can help you vet agents and confirm that these are people you would actually like to work with in your writing career. You want to make sure that the agents you're querying are actually selling books to publishers and imprints that you are interested in potentially working with. If you see a literary agent and they have no deals on Publishers Marketplace, or they're only selling to really small presses that you can submit to without a literary agent, that's a bit of a red flag. Now, of course, if it's a new literary agent who just started agenting in like the past year or so, it's totally okay if they don't have any deals or they have very few deals on Publishers Marketplace so far. But if it's somebody who's been around in the industry for a few years now, they really should be selling books to reputable publishers. And if they're not, you should really question why you would potentially want to enter into a contract with that person. Using Publishers Marketplace this time really helped me build a list of potential agents to query. And honestly, some of the agents who I queried last time, I don't see myself querying again because now that I've actually looked at their publishing history of deals, it's not really somebody that I think I would really want to work with, respectfully. Also, when I was on Publishers Marketplace, it was kind of fun. I saw deal announcements for a lot of books that sound really cool. So now I know to check those out when they're released. Now let's circle back to that thing that I said about newer agents, because number 2 on my list is I am actually querying newer agents this time. Now, I think when you're an author, it's very easy to get starry-eyed and see these literary agents who have many years in the industry, who represent some of your favorite authors of all time, and think to yourself, that is who I want my agent to be. Like, I want this hotshot, shiny literary agent who represents all these famous people. But the thing is, like, let's just say Stephen King. Stephen King's literary agent is probably already making a crap ton of money, right? So Stephen King's literary agent is going to be very picky about what new clients he or she takes on, and likely may not even be looking to take on new clients at all, because that agent is set already. They're bringing in the dough. They're probably very busy. So that's kind of the downside of querying very successful, very established agents. The thing about newer agents is, yes, maybe they don't have a very long history in the industry. Maybe they don't represent anybody famous. But you know what they are? Hungry. Hungry for talent. They are looking to establish themselves. They are looking to find the next Stephen King, the next, James Patterson, Sarah J. Maas. Who else is really famous? They are looking for those people who are going to be the literary bestsellers of tomorrow. And so they really are willing to take chances on new people because they are looking to build a list of clients. They are looking to find the next successful author. And so that's a really great opportunity for you as a querying author, because this is somebody who really wants to find authors, really wants to sign you. And that's a good opportunity for you. And I think another great thing about newer agents, at least in my opinion, is that if you sign with one of them, you could potentially be their very famous client someday. Maybe someday people are going to look at that agent and think, oh, I really, really want to work with that agent because they represent Jackie. Or, insert your name here. And you could potentially work with this new agent and navigate the industry together for your entire career. So that's something that's really potentially exciting. And I think last time I didn't query a lot of newer agents, but this time I definitely want to give them a chance and see what happens. Of course, I do think it is important to make sure that someone who is new to agenting is at a agency that does have a solid sales history and that does offer mentorship, because anybody can call themselves a literary agent. You want to make sure that it's somebody who actually has a support network behind them as they dip their toes into this industry, so to speak. The third thing that I am doing differently this time is I am querying British agents in addition to American agents. I did query 1 or 2 British agents last time, but that was it. And I think there is this rhetoric that's still present out there that Americans should sign with American agents and Brits should sign with British agents, etc. But I don't necessarily know if that's true anymore. We are living in the 21st century, a digital age, and in a post-pandemic world, I don't think literary agents are really going out to lunch or getting coffee with editors like they used to. I think a lot of schmoozing is now happening online. It's talking to people on Twitter. It's having Zoom calls with people. It's attending the same conferences and events. So I don't think you necessarily need a literary agent who is living in the heart of New York. What really matters is not where the agent lives, but what publishers they are selling to. British agents, their clients don't necessarily have to all be British, and American agents are representing people from all over the world. So your location doesn't matter as much. What matters is who you're selling to. Now, of course, I want my book to be published in America and be widely available in America because that's where I live and I want to be able to have that experience of going to Barnes & Noble and seeing my book there. But there are British agents who are selling to major American publishers. So I'm querying those people if I think they might potentially be a good fit for my project. If an agent is selling to publishers that you want to work with, submit to them. The worst they can do is say no. Now, number 4 on my list, I am planning to submit to multiple agents at the same agency when I can. When I was doing research before my first querying experience, I saw a lot of people, especially in older videos or articles, say that you can only query one literary agent at each agency. But that's not really true anymore. So always look at a literary agency's submissions guidelines on their website. Most of the time, you will find that you are allowed to query a second agent once the first has passed on your project. So this time, I really looked at all of the agents at each agency to see if there was more than one who I thought might potentially be a good fit for my project. Honestly, this is a rarity, but I have seen a couple times at really large agencies that they have a policy where actually you can query multiple agents simultaneously if you disclose it in your query letter. I think the reason why you're seeing more and more agencies now allowing you to query multiple agents is because I think agents are busier than ever before, and so maybe they don't pass submissions between each other as much as they used to. But make sure to check the submission guidelines when you're planning to query, because there are some agencies that are more tight-knit and they do still have a no from one is a no from all policy. So definitely always check with each individual agency to figure out how you should proceed. Number 5 on my list is this time I am reaching out to literary agents who requested material from me before. The first time I queried, I was lucky enough to get requests for partial or full manuscripts from multiple agents, and obviously none of them offered me representation, but clearly they saw something in my writing that they liked. They wouldn't have requested to read more if there wasn't something that they liked about it. So now that I have a new project, why not query them again? Clearly there was something about me that they enjoyed before, and maybe they'll like my new manuscript better than the previous one. It's definitely worth a shot, and I think this is one of the biggest perks of querying a second time, because there are these people who I can reach out to and say, hey, you requested my last manuscript. I hope you'll be interested in this one too. Number 6 on this list might be a bit controversial, but I'm not that worried about personalizing my query letters this time. So a lot of people recommend personalizing your letters to agents, basically saying things like, I am querying you because you represent this author that I really like, or I saw on Twitter that you're interested in such and such a trope, and that's in my book, so that's why I'm querying you, etc. But to be honest with you, this is not something I'm as concerned about this time, and I'll explain why. You do see a lot of agents say that they love personalization, and it does motivate them to request material because they like seeing why you chose to query them specifically. But I also see a lot of literary agents say that they don't think personalization matters that much, and it doesn't have that much of an effect on them. So I will personalize a query if there is like a very straightforward, obvious reason why I'm querying that person, such as, you know, I had you requested a full last time and I won't query you again. Like, that's a very easy way to personalize a query. But I'm not gonna like dig through 3 years of tweets to find some personal connection between me and the agent. If I can't think off the top of my head of a reason why I'm querying them specifically for this project, I'm just gonna send the query without the personalization. Another thing is, most agents don't give you a personalized response. So I don't really want to break my back trying to personalize for them when they're not going to give me the same in return, to be honest with you. And I know that some people might disagree with this take and say that it's so important to personalize your queries, but this is just my opinion. And honestly, I've gotten full requests on queries that were not personalized before. So I'll do it if I can, but if not, I'm not worried about it. Of course, though, don't get what I'm saying confused. You should always have the agent's name in the query. Do not write "Dear Agent." Do not write "To whom it may concern." Write "Dear" and the agent's name. Like, that takes 2 seconds. And if you're sending somebody a query that's not addressed to them, it might just go straight in the trash, to be honest with you. And that transitions us nicely to number 7. This time, I'm not expecting personalized feedback from literary agents. It would be a great perk if I got some, but I'm keeping my expectations low. I think if you queried agents 5 or 6 years ago, you could expect to get personalized responses, but agents have a lot of work, and nowadays it is very common to give form rejections or not respond to query letters. It's very common to give form rejections on full manuscripts. And unfortunately, in some cases, there are agents who will ghost you on a full manuscript. It happened to me last time. There were 2 agents who requested my full, and they never got back to me. And I can see from online data that they frequently don't get back on manuscripts they requested. It sucks and I don't like it, but it's just the reality, so I am preparing myself for that. Back in the day, the advice was very common to send out a small number of query letters at a time and wait to get feedback from agents so that you could revise. I don't think that's realistic anymore, and I think you need to make sure that you've done all your editing and your revising and that you've had a lot of people look at your manuscript before you send it out. Because unfortunately, even somebody who requests your full manuscript may not tell you what they think you can improve. They might just say, "Thank you for sending, I'm sorry, it's not for me." I did not get any detailed feedback on any manuscript that I submitted last time. I got lots of polite passes, people maybe saying, "Oh, I liked the plot, but I just didn't fall in love with this." Things like that. So I don't think you can expect tangible feedback from agents anymore. And if you do get it, consider yourself very lucky, because it is not that common anymore, unfortunately. Number 8 on my list, this time I'm not taking rejections as personally. Now, querying naturally comes with rejection. I don't think I know a single person who's queried and not faced rejection at least once, because nothing in this world is going to be universally beloved. Of course, it doesn't feel good when you get a rejection. The first time that I queried, I would feel, a little pang in my heart when somebody rejected my query or my full manuscript. I would feel disappointed, and sometimes I would feel, honestly, very, very sad, especially if it was a rejection on a full manuscript. But this time, I've already gotten a couple of form rejections, and when I received them, my reaction internally was much more, okay, and then I moved on. I think over time, you get more comfortable with rejection, and you also have to remember that it's not personal. It's not a personal slight against you. It doesn't mean that you're not a good writer. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It just means that this project at this time is not the right fit for this person. So I'm definitely not taking it as hard this time, at least so far, but we'll see. The 9th thing that I am doing differently with this second querying experience is I am celebrating all of my wins. I did try to do this the first time. Like once I got a few full manuscript requests, I took myself out to get a facial. But I don't think I celebrated myself enough. I think everybody who is putting themselves out there in this way and sending their work out into the world, that deserves celebrating. Like, you are sharing your work with industry professionals. People are reading your material, and that is so exciting. Be proud of yourself. Of course, I'm not going to do a big, expensive celebration for everything, but you know, if somebody requests my full, maybe that night I'll have a celebratory glass of wine, or I'll go out and buy myself a really yummy dessert. Just something small to celebrate the fact that I accomplished something in my querying journey. I think that's a really great thing for all querying authors to do. So give yourself those very small rewards to celebrate putting yourself out there. And then maybe if you do get a literary agent, give yourself a big reward, because that is an impressive feat, my friends. Heck, I think you should celebrate it if you get a personalized rejection. Because like I said, you don't see those much anymore. So if somebody read something that you sent them and actually gave you personalized, insightful feedback, clearly something about your project spoke to them in some way, caused them to take the time out of their day to give you feedback. So even if it's a pass, if it's a good pass, celebrate that crap, okay? You are out there, you are doing it, and that's amazing. I'm proud of you. And finally, number 10, one thing that I am keeping the same this time querying, I'm using Query Tracker. This is not sponsored by Query Tracker. I just love them, okay? So Query Tracker is like an online database that has all these different agents and publishers, and users can comment saying, oh, I sent them a query on this date and this is when I heard back. If you have a premium account, there are also a lot of other really useful features that I think make querying so much better. I believe Query Tracker is only $25 for the entire year, so it is so much more affordable than Publishers Marketplace, and I really think it's worth paying for the premium version if you're querying. Because when you have the premium account, you can see information like how often an agent requests material. What other literary agents have similar tastes to this agent? You can also see how long on average it takes that agent to send either a positive or a negative response. And that makes strategizing for querying very helpful. So when I'm querying, I do like to send queries in batches of about 10 to 15 at a time, not because I'm expecting personalized feedback, but just for my own peace of mind, because I like being able to know that if I want to revise later, I can. And so what I like to do is, in my first 10 queries or so, I like to target people who generally respond fast, like let's say within a week to 2 weeks, because that way I can know fairly quickly if my query letter and my sample pages are attracting agent interest. So I'm very thankful to Query Tracker Premium and all its great data. It really does help me as I'm planning what to do next in my querying journey. So everybody, that is my list. 9 things I am doing differently my second time querying literary agents, and 1 thing that I am doing the same. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. If you're still here watching, I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Have you queried literary agents before? Are you currently querying? Are you gearing up to do it for the first time? Do let me know. And if you have any other querying related questions that you would like me to answer in a future video, or any querying related topics that you'd like to see, do let me know and I will keep that in mind. with all that being said, that is it for me today. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a marvelous rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you in the next video.